大家好，今天是2025年4月7日，我们来看一下这个，由于川普的这个关税政策啊，现在这个全球经济形势，所有的这个市场啊都全球下跌。
European markets now underway. And these right here are the numbers. They speak for themselves. They are following Asia's lead with serious losses. Asian markets, they've also been plunging. Just look at these numbers here as well. Major hits across the board. Hong Kong's Hang Seng hit the hardest of all. U.S. stock futures, they are not faring, or at least they're not faring any better. The Dow, NASDAQ, and also the S&P 500 futures, they are all down ahead of the new trading week. Despite the turmoil, Mr. Trump defended his tariffs to reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday.
We will be taking in over $1 trillion over the next short period of time with the tariffs that I've already instituted. They're already in place. Now, what's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you our country has gotten a lot stronger. And eventually, it'll be a country like no other. It'll be the most dominant country economically in the world. I've spoken to many countries. They all want to do, just so you understand the power of what I'm doing, every country is calling and being very solicitous of us. Very, very nice. They're being very nice.
While the Trump administration is downplaying this market volatility, there may be more uncertainty ahead. Larger U.S. tariffs, they are scheduled to go into effect on Wednesday. And that's when the U.S. will place a 54% tariff on all goods imported from China. Now, in the meantime, the president says that he's willing to negotiate with Beijing.
We have $1 trillion trade deficit with China. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year we lose with China. And unless we solve that problem, I'm not going to make a deal. Now, I'm willing to deal with China, but they have to solve their surplus.
We are covering market activity in Asia and in Europe at this hour. Melissa Bell is watching the action from Paris. And our Christy Lou Stout, she's been following Asian trading from Hong Kong. Let's begin there, Christy.
Polo, markets here in the Asia-Pacific region ended this day deep in the red as investors across the region continue to reject U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff policy. Let's take a look at how the Asian trading day ended, and you can see there red across the board. Deep losses here in Hong Kong, with the Hang Seng losing over 13% this day. Also losses in Japan, the Nikkei losing close to 8%. Seoul Kospi, the S&P ASX in Australia, as well as losses in Shanghai as well. All this on the back of what was announced last week by U.S. President Donald Trump, when he made that announcement saying that there will be at least 10% tariffs on all U.S. imports, effectively upending global trade norms. And ever since that moment, leaders across the Asia-Pacific region have been scrambling to formulate a response. Earlier today, we heard from the Japanese Prime Minister, who said that his government does want to talk and continue to talk with the Trump administration to find out ways to lower the tariffs being applied against his country. The South Korean acting president also advocating for talks, but China advocating a very different, more robust approach. China late on Friday announcing that 34% retaliatory tariff that is going to kick into gear later this week on April the 10th. And China also over the weekend through state-run media striking a very defiant tone in a number of online commentaries, including a commentary that was later published in today's front cover of the People's Daily, in which it said, look, the tariffs from Donald Trump, they're going to hurt. But as it said, the quote, sky won't fall. In addition to that, saying this, as a responsible global power, we should turn pressure into motivation and see the U.S. impact as a strategic opportunity. The People's Daily also added that China has not closed the door on potential talks with Donald Trump. Back to you, Polo.
All right, Chris Lustow, thank you so much there for the markets in Asia. Let's go now to Europe. Melissa Bell in Paris with the situation there in the markets. Hey, Melissa.
Markets opening way down again this morning, Paula, even as European trade ministers are meeting over in Luxembourg. Now, this is an extraordinary meeting that's been called for by the Polish presidency of the EU Council, and they're urgently looking at how to respond to the tariffs even as they suggest that they intend to take their time, simply because that they believe that the pressure on the American administration is going to come first and foremost from the markets themselves. We've been hearing from the Polish trade minister, even as he went into that meeting, saying, speaking to the $5 trillion that were lost on the US stock market on Thursday and Friday, speaking also to these falls overnight in Asia and this difficult opening here in Europe. He believes that all of that pressure will have to be listened to by Washington. And it isn't just coming from Europeans, that message. We've been hearing from Elon Musk over the course of the weekend, speaking to a meeting of the Italian far right. This is what he had to say about tariffs.
I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America, and also more freedom of people to move between Europe and North America, if they wish. If they wish to work in Europe or wish to work in America, they should be allowed to do so, in my view. So that has certainly been my advice to the president.
Elon Musk there suggesting that he too is feeling the pain of all this. Europeans, even as they're meeting in Luxembourg, saying that they're going to look at how to strike back, but that also they're leaving the door open to negotiations. They believe that some room for compromise can be found. And bear in mind, Paula, that the European Union is, as a bloc, the United States' largest trading partner. They believe that with the actions, the instruments they have up their sleeve, they can now make themselves heard, even as they seek a better deal with the U.S. administration. Paulo.
Melissa Bell in Paris with a look at the European markets. Thank you, Melissa.
Joining me now to discuss, Errol Lewis, host of The Big Deal with Errol Lewis on Spectrum News, Jerusalem Bemsis, staff writer for The Atlantic.
关税政策一出台，就全球股市都全面下跌啊，股价就是这个大家对这个未来公司它发展盈利的一个预期，所以整个股市的低迷就是大家对未来经济的一种担忧状态啊。所以还是希望这个乱世快一点过去，然后各国也尽快的采取措施。在这里点一下欧洲反应好慢呢啊，口号喊得很快是吧？很早很快啊，加油！你看马斯克现在也坐不住了，对吧？也建议他希望有这种零关税的这样的贸易体在。好，今天要到这里，谢谢大家。